Hello, my name is David Vincent, and I am the Chief of Police for the Citrus County School District. First, I would like to say thank you for taking the time to watch this training video on probably one of the most important pieces of technology that will help ensure your safety as well as our students while on campus. Our mobile panic alert system is called Crisis Alert by Centegix. But before we get into the nuts and bolts of the system, I would like to start by telling you why this technology is in place, and it is called Alyssa's Alert.
So if you weren't aware of Alyssa's Law, or what we refer to now as Alyssa's Alert, this was named after Alyssa Leidhef, who died in February 14, 2018 in the Marjory Stoneman Douglas shooting. Her parents fought for legislation mandating a better public alert system in every public and charter school. And then in 2020, the state of Florida mandated a mobile panic alert system to be installed at every public and charter school by the 21-22 school year, which brings us here to today. So as I stated there, our solution for this is Crisis Alert. Our district did select this. We started this process back in about February of this year, and there's a few key reasons of why we chose this. First and foremost was ease of use. I felt that this is the simplest system to use, as I hope that you'll, by the end of this, see that as well. It gives every staff member in our district the ability to initiate a lockdown instantly through their Crisis Alert badge. And again, every staff member, almost 2,600 of us, will have a badge to implement a lockdown. It creates its own independent network that doesn't rely on Wi-Fi or cellular service, which was a huge selling point for us because most of you know that there's no campus that has 100% Wi-Fi and cellular coverage in our district. It communicates immediately with our county 911 center, so if we put a campus into lockdown, that message is being sent instantaneously to the 911 center to get first responders here as well. And it can be used for other school site emergencies that do not require outside first responder help, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. So let's talk about the three main components of the system, the things that you'll see on a daily basis that you need to be aware of. First and foremost, the most important part is the Crisis Alert badge. Second component is the wireless hub, and the next component is the alert beacons. So let's talk about those three things individually. So your badge is unique to you so that when you initiate an alert, we know who it is that needs help. This is the most important piece of the system again, and it's how everyone will communicate in emergencies. So that badge you see there on the left-hand screen is about the same size as your proximity card, your ID badge. The center picture there is the wireless hub. This is the one I've gotten the most questions on so far after we did our installation, because some of these are occupying outlets that might be maybe the only outlet in a room or whatever. But this is a huge component to this, because this is what's creating the communication between each hub and the strobe beacons that you see there on your right. Those two components there are the ones that are creating the network that relies on your badges to work. So it's very important for the wireless hubs. You'll see those in rooms, hallways, and offices. And again, if it's not in an ideal place, we can look at moving it, but you just need to coordinate that with myself and an administrator at your school. The strobe beacons, as you see on the right, those are mounted to walls and ceilings depending on the construction of your classroom. And our goal for installation is that you should never be out of line of sight of one of those beacons. The beacons will display multiple colors, and we'll talk about that here shortly to indicate different types of events happening on our campuses. This is just a quick couple of photos that shows you them installed. You can see the beacons are secured into the ceiling with a very strong earth magnet, and they have a safety wire in there as well. So if it did get knocked down, or if a student tried knocking it down, a safety wire should hold it up there without it crashing to the ground. And then on the right there, you see the wireless hubs that are screwed in through the outlet plate screw. So please don't try to yank these off the wall. You will break them because they are in there with a screw. So again, if we need to move those, please make us aware of that. I'm going to refer to things as the bubble, and this is one of those things that when we talk about creating our own network, each site has its own bubble. And the hubs and beacons are working together to create this, and the goal of the bubble is to extend the coverage on campus to about 600 feet past the property lines. All campuses, district offices, and bus compounds have this coverage. Now, for our transportation employees out there, there is not a bubble on your bus while you're traveling. But as soon as you hit a campus, your badge will work in the case of an emergency on your bus while in the parking lot or the bus ramp at every school. So you just got to imagine, as soon as you cross the threshold of the bubble with your bus and you're wearing your badge, you can use that to activate an emergency. So why is it important not to move things? Location accuracy. One of the things that came out of Stoneman Douglas is they knew once they knew an emergency was happening, they didn't know where to go. These alerts, as you see in these snapshots, screenshots here of a desktop and the mobile application, will send your response teams at your school, the district office, and the 911 center actual maps of your school. The red dot indicates the person who initiated it, and if you look there on the right, you can see that it identifies you by name and what classroom that you are in or near. So very important of why we keep those things where they are currently. So the next slide we're going to talk about is, or actually I'm going to show you, is a really quick video from the company that's a great overview. Again, some of the protocols are different because they made this from their company's perspective. So when we talk about lockdowns, those messaging will be catered to our ALICE protocols.
You are the first line of defense in the safety and security of our students and staff. With the Centegix Crisis Alert platform, you now have the ability to notify the appropriate responders immediately in the event of any crisis or emergency. The Crisis Alert badge you have been given is the core of the solution and should be worn at all times. Wear your badge above the waist, either clipped to your lapel or on a lanyard. It is important that you do not leave the badge unattended or accessible to students. Hang keys, flash drives, or other items. Glue or attach other badges to your Crisis Alert badge. Puncture, bend, or damage the badge. Your Crisis Alert badge will work anywhere on the school campus, both inside and outside. It will also work if you are on a campus at another school in your district. With just a click of the button located on the Crisis Alert badge, you have the ability to trigger the Crisis Alert platform. Your badge can initiate two types of alerts: Staff Alert, which is an urgent request for help needed, and campus-wide emergency lockdown. The most common alert is the Staff Alert, which requests the immediate attention of responders, such as in a medical emergency or a fight. To activate, simply click the button on your Crisis Alert badge 3 times. The badge will vibrate briefly, then stop, letting you know the signal has been received and help is on the way. While you attend to the problem at hand, responders such as the principal, nurse, and resource officer are notified of your location and can quickly come to your aid. The second and more serious alert is the campus-wide emergency lockdown, such as in the case of an active shooter situation. To activate, keep clicking the button until your badge vibrates for a prolonged period. All computer screens in the school will display a lockdown alert with important instructions. You will know that lockdown is initiated because the strobes in each classroom and throughout the school start flashing, and a pre-recorded lockdown announcement is played over the intercom.
This is a lockdown alert. Immediately lock your doors. Turn off the lights. Stay out of sight.
Now you can focus on your students and proceed with your school's lockdown procedures and be confident knowing help is on the way. The Crisis Alert platform also sends your alerts to a centralized desktop interface in the district head office where all schools are monitored. Using the same desktop interface or a smartphone, the district office can initiate emergency protocols remotely, appropriate to the situation. Your new Crisis Alert badge by Centegix is key to keeping your school safe. It is important to wear it and keep it accessible at all times. If you lose or misplace your badge, please let your administrator know immediately. Remember, there are 2 types of alerts. The Staff Alert, for when urgent help is needed, is 3 clicks. To trigger a campus-wide emergency, just continue clicking until the school is in lockdown. Ensuring the safety of students is one of the most important parts of your job. The Crisis Alert platform and Crisis Alert badge by Centegix give you the peace of mind to know that with the simple click of a button, help is on its way.
So let's talk about the first type of alert, the campus-wide lockdowns. The first big question is, when do we use it? This is reserved for the active assailant or life-threatening situations. You see an armed intruder on campus, or you see the life of a student or staff member being threatened. Those are the instances we want to initiate the campus-wide lockdown. So how do we know if the school is going into lockdown? If you recall from the video, you'll see the beacons begin to flash red, make some chirping sounds. The intercom will have an intercom integration that will advise everyone to implement their ALICE protocols. And if further information is available regarding the threat, and it's possible, staff will be able to deliver that over the intercom system for specific information regarding the threat. All of our desktop computers will be taken over, and display message will be there to advise to implement ALICE. The great thing about this system is no matter if you're on a large campus and across on the other side and a problem is happening, everyone should instantaneously know that there is a problem on campus. And that's one of the features we like about this system. So if an event is happening, the one thing that I do want you to remember is that even if the lockdown has been initiated already and you see the threat and can verify that threat 100% with your own eyes, I want you to push that button as well. And that's going to do a very specific thing for us. Every time a staff member hits their lockdown emergency on their badge, it will come up as a red dot on our maps. So in a perfect scenario, the first person sees it, we see the red dot. The second person sees it, we see another red dot. And it kind of creates a breadcrumb trail of where the threat is moving throughout the campus. That's great information for the response team and the first responders coming to your campus to know exactly where that threat is going. So remember, if you see the threat, I want you to initiate that system as well. The next alert we'll talk about is the staff alert. And talking with a lot of districts, this is what they get a lot of on a day-to-day basis. And if you remember in the video, the staff alert's initiated with 3 clicks of your badge. It'll be followed with a short vibration so you know that the signal was sent. And so the question that we're going to get a lot of is, when do we use this feature in our system? So the things that come to my mind in the immediate future is, first of all, medical emergencies. And this isn't the sprained ankles, the paper cuts in the art room. This is true medical emergencies like unconscious students. You have severe laceration cases. You have compound fractures, things that need immediate medical care. We want you to be able to use your badge to summons help to your location. Again, remember that this is only one of the tools in your tool belt. So if you have access to radios and intercom systems too, make sure that you're using all of those things to your advantage. The other thing is for fights and physical altercations, especially at our middle and high schools. A lot of teachers have duty stations that they are at that they don't have a radio and they're not close to an intercom. So lo and behold, a fight breaks out in front of you and you have to do something. Just know that by the 3 clicks of that badge, we'll let the response team located at that school, which includes our guardians and our school resource officers, your location and that you need help. So physical altercations is a big one as well. And then lastly, any urgent health or safety situation where you need help and are unable to communicate through normal means. And hopefully this graphic doesn't date myself. The old commercial, "I've fallen and I can't get up." Remember that is there to help you if you were to experience a medical emergency or anything else like that. And the one scenario that I could think of was after school hours, you could be on a campus by yourself, or even our custodial staff who is there late at night could experience an intruder on campus or something like that. They can utilize their badge to summons help. Now, you have to remember, though, that if you are there alone at night, there is no immediate response team on campus to get to you. So if you needed help, you would have to initiate a lockdown emergency. The staff alert won't work. We will obviously get the messages at our homes or wherever we might be in the evening time. But to communicate directly with the 911 center, remember, you have to initiate a lockdown. So if you experience an emergency after hours, for the rare occasions that we might have staff there by themselves, please know that you can use that lockdown function to summons help to your location. Now let's talk about some of the other alerts that we can utilize the system to our advantage for. So your administrators do have the ability to initiate alerts through the system via the desktop application or the mobile application. Just remember though, red is always reserved for the lockdown emergency. If we were to put a school into a cautionary lockdown, which is threat related, and that could be law enforcement activity near campus or headed towards campus, we have the ability to initiate our strobes in a yellow color. So a yellow light would be for a cautionary lockdown and threat related. The next color that we are going to use is the blue. And this is, we have first thought about using this for just medical, but we thought that there's other applications for this. So we're going to call that hold in place, not threat related. So these are all of your medical emergencies or other situations when we want to stop student movement. So best example I could give you is you have EMS on scene for a medical emergency and they're bringing in a stretcher and stuff and need to move a student or a patient through campus and don't want to deal with a class change in the middle of that. So we could initiate the blue light for a hold in place and letting staff know that we don't want you to move students, but we have a situation on campus that is not threat related, so we don't cause any fear or panic there, and but we don't want students moving. And then green would be our all clear, whether for any color that we initiate, the green would be, hey, everything's good. We can go back to normal activities and be able to move about our campuses. We do have the ability to use a white strobe, but we have not yet determined a function for that. So if we update that, obviously you guys will know as well. And then we can do multicolors in the strobes, and we're going to reserve those for testing and drills.
And lastly, I found this slide this summer and felt it was a great reminder to remind all of us of why it is we do what we do. All of these things, sometimes it might seem like it's more inconvenient or just another thing that we have to do, but we should always remember it's for our safety as staff members and the safety of our students to at least try to prevent and mitigate an event like Marjory Stoneman Douglas from ever happening again, and especially on our campuses. That concludes this training video, and I would like to thank all of those who have helped implementing this technology, and especially to our staff for all that you do related to school safety. And remember, safety is everyone's job.